We can control it.
All right. Start off. All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome to our workshop here from this is the SFU Blockchain AI Club. My name's Riley, president of the club here, and I'll be presenting along here with Vugar and Victor. So we'll be ready to go here. Next slide. All right. So who are we? We are just a new club that just started recently, and we're here to deliver blockchain AI content for members of the SFU community. Not just SFU, but we're trying to bring in other universities too. Just like our recent event, we had other universities join in. It's just really to join, share, connect. Let's just learn about the new technology, how that's going to affect business and all that, and make the better place through collaboration. And I think that's the big thing, and how blockchain technology can really bring that. We have members night every Tuesday. Along with networking events and opportunities like this workshop we're doing. All right, so this is the three of us here presenting. My name's Riley, and we got Vugar here.
Hey guys, my name is Vugar. And I am Victor.
Awesome. And then, they're both VP of Relations and Technology, and we're here to present to you, next slide, please. How to buy, hold, and sell cryptocurrency safely. And most importantly, how to avoid scams. Before we begin, none of this is financial advice. You'll always do your own research. And we have that in really big, bold font. So here's some good memes, by the way. I just bought the dip, but it keeps dipping. That's a classic thing in crypto. And just hodl. And being in crypto is not stressful at all. And that's our big thing for this workshop, trying to make it less stressful and not be like John. So. Next slide. All right, Victor here will start off with our first point here, avoiding scam point number 1.
So, where to buy crypto? Well, right now it's pretty much easier than when 10 years ago. There's a lot of decentralized applications already built on different networks like Ethereum, and they can allow you to actually sell and buy peer-to-peer cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Cardano, and any other, or even Bitcoin, or any other cryptocurrency projects that are out there. I'm gonna name a few of them that are so far pretty safe in terms of other options that may be out there. So the first one is Binance. So Binance has been out there for a long time, and it's one of the safest options. It has an option where you can buy and sell peer-to-peer with other people, but at the same time you can use your card in order to buy cryptocurrency directly. Mentioning about the card, that also will depend on the type of bank you may have, because there have been a lot of scams in the last 10 years. So banks are a little bit hesitant in order to, when it comes to buy cryptocurrencies. So you may have to ask your bank to give you access to these kind of transactions, and then if they allow so, and then you may be able to do it. Here in Canada, there's also another option called Interact e-Transfer. So if you cannot buy it, you can e-transfer the money to specific applications. And there's also some apps that allow you to do that. Another option that I like to use is Celsius. which a friend, Riley, he recommended me that one. And Celsius is pretty convenient. It helps you to like also manage your wallets, and also you can like buy and sell and do a lot of like amazing stuff. Another option that we have here is Exodus. Exodus is a decentralized application built on Ethereum, and it allows you, when it comes to decentralized, I mean like you have access to your keys. What does that mean? What your private keys? What does that mean? Like you have the full control of your wallet. There are some like applications or cryptocurrency exchanges, like the main Coinbase app, that they have the private keys, and you only have like access to the interface to see it. But they also have another wallet which is like decentralized. So you have the two worlds there. So Coinbase, the exchange, and the Coinbase wallet. Something that I use, another one that I use is eToro. eToro also, it's not available in Canada, but if you're in Mexico and the US, you can download the app and use it there. What else? Yeah, these ones are some of the options where you can like buy safely and yeah, have a good experience with the interfaces already built for you.
Cool. Thank you, Victor. Yeah, so definitely those are some great options, and make sure if you ever see any of these tweets, like Elon Musk saying, this actually did happen. It actually happened too in 2020. I think like a lot of Twitter profiles got hacked, and they had a thing like send Bitcoin, receive double. So if you ever see that, never do it. It's not a good idea. So if it looks too good to be true, or if it looks kind of fishy, like it probably is fishy. So just be really careful. So different methods of buying. So kind of like some things that Victor touched on. There's some like different things: ATMs, peer-to-peer, cryptocurrency exchange, and then indirect exposures. So that's like maybe buying stocks or ETFs, or those stocks and companies that own crypto, or they have it on their balance sheet. So in a way, you're indirectly like exposed to crypto and still kind of holding it in some way. All right. So first, let's go into ATMs. The security is pretty good. Like as like a first thing that's like a pro, like you directly put money in and it can go directly to your wallet that you show when you go there. So it's easy to use. A lot of them are located in coffee shops, like around here in Vancouver. I think there's one on campus. I don't know if you guys seen one on campus here. Beercraft. I think there's one at Beercraft. So you can just, and another pro is you can just use cash. So you can just go up to the machine, put some cash in, and you can get some Bitcoin. But some of the cons will be like it's high fees. Like it's much higher than 5%. I think for a lot of them it's like 15. So like if the price right now, checking earlier, if it's 57,000 right now, you're probably paying like 65,000. So you're really paying a bigger markup. That's probably one of the biggest cons. Higher risk to scams. I think that's another thing for ATMs is that people get wheeled into scams and say, oh, you have to go to the ATM, deposit money, transfer it. So there's scams that can happen because ATMs don't require know your customer requirements. So you don't have to provide any information about yourself for some of these ATMs, depending how much money you put in. But usually under $1,000, you can just go up to the ATM and just put cash in and not say who you are, which is kind of a problem. So that is definitely a drawdown. And then it's low accessibility. There's not too many of them available, or they're not as close as just walking down the hallway or something, or it'll take a little bit of time to get to it. So, and here's just the map. So yeah, we're up on the mountain over here. But yeah, there's some different ATMs that's all around. So you just search it up on Google. If you ever want to just deposit or buy crypto at an ATM, you can just always just go there and yeah. Peer-to-peer. So this is like another way to buy crypto. So really, it's what it says. Peer-to-peer. It's like me going up to Vugar and saying, "Hey, Vugar, I want to buy some Bitcoin from you." And they're like, "Sure." And like he'll sell me some cash, or you'll sell me like a certain number of money we both agree on, and he just directly sends it to me, like wallet to wallet. And that's ultimately what crypto is mainly built for, is for peer-to-peer transfers. So it's really just doing that. We're just settling a deal like me and him. But really, it's really not that simple for if you want to do it with someone you don't know, there's like some different places you can go online. Some big exchanges have built-in peer-to-peer, like Binance, the biggest trading platforms. If you're going to do a big transfer, like a big kind of deal, like over the counter is another one. A lot of exchanges have that too as well, where you can settle with one party or another for a crypto exchange. Some of the disadvantages though, it can be slow transactions. So like you have to agree with the other party on a certain price. You have to send the money or you have to wait and confirm. So it's not super easy. It's not like, oh, I buy it, boom, you get right away. Could be complicated to use depending on just the platform and how you're going to do it, how the deal is going to be settled. But some good pros is that there's no middleman. It's just, one-on-one. Like I go up to Ugar and I'll buy some crypto from him, and there we go. Indirect exposure. So it's like, this one's pretty good if you don't want to like worry about the risk of like losing the coins or the security. So it's really owning cryptocurrency without holding it. So some of these examples could be like, stocks. There's quite a few, like I guess like Tesla has some on their balance sheet. MicroStrategy is a big Bitcoin holder. There's ETFs you can get to as well. Stuff like that. So like owning it without actually having to worry about the security. I think that's one good reason for this. But a drawdown would be is that you're not in full control of the coins. There is a bit of centralization. And the rates could be a little different. So you're not getting the full rate of return you would have got if you were owning Bitcoin directly. So you could be getting a lesser return. That's probably one of the drawdowns. But you don't have to worry about the security, which is a big thing. So, all right. And then this is the big one, cryptocurrency exchanges. There's a number of markets available, a number of exchanges available, lots of coins. It's very easy to use. We'll go into some different exchanges on the next slide, but it's easy for both Canadian dollars, US dollars, Visa cards available. You can use those for using payments and stuff. Some of the drawdowns would be though, like exchange. There has been exchange hacks before, depending what exchange you're using, and that's some of the things we'll get into is making sure like you get a right exchange and like you do some research on it and make sure that they have proper measures of storing their coins and it's not, like sketchy or anything. So, and then also they have to get your identification. So like they have to know who you are, like know your customer requirements. They have to comply with all that. So, and they are centralized. So so it's not, you're not in full control of your coins if you hold them on the exchanges. It's available everywhere on your phone or laptop online. So here are some exchanges in Canada and just comparing the rates. So we got NDAX. That's what Vugar is going to go through, like the example with Nick. And then we also have Netcoins. Just to go into NDAX first, sorry. It has great customer service. Vugar will explain some of that, which is really good. Trading fees are not too bad. You can do e-transfer, which is convenient. You just send the money in. Netcoins, it's the first approved trading platform by a public company for Canada, which is pretty interesting. It's very easy to use. So if you're looking for something that's very convenient, easy to use, Netcoins is good. However, like they do say they don't get you on any fees, but they do get you on the spread. So that's the difference between the actual price and the price you're paying. So they kind of make you pay a bit more on that. So kind of watch, like it's a good exchange. It's very easy to use, but just watch out. Like you're kind of paying a little bit of a different price. So, and then you got Coinbase. It's very well trusted. Has both like wallet you can use on the exchange and a self custody wallet. So it's very convenient, easy to use, very well regulated. So, and you got Kraken. Has good fees. Customer support's really good. Supports a lot of cryptocurrencies. I would say Kraken's good if you're going to invest like a higher amount of money. Like it's just easy bank wire to buy and everything. And you got Binance, which is the biggest exchange in the world. They're very well trusted. They have a whole bunch of cryptocurrencies, a lot of cryptos you can trade. And their fees are really low, like 0.1% per trade. So that's, if you invest $100, then you're only paying 10 cents. I think that's 10 cents. If I do my math right. Yeah. So you're paying like a low amount per trade, which is good because those can add up if you're going to do a lot of trades. And then you got Crypto.com, which has gotten like more popular. They have a lot of sponsorships that they're doing. They actually signed one with FIFA, I think, for the World Cup, which is a big sponsor. Yeah, it's an easy exchange to use for your mobile phone. And they also include spot features and options for those of us that are in 316 this semester. So yeah, that's some exchanges here. All right, and then we got me and Victor here. We're going to explain why you have to be careful what exchanges you choose. This is a good case example. I actually have some personal experience with this exchange too. So yeah, you want to?
Sure. When it comes to investing, you always have to have a background about the technology that you're going to invest. In this case, if you're going to invest in cryptocurrencies, you have to understand the blockchain, which is basically the technology behind these projects. And why do you have to know this? Because if you know the basis of how the technology works, you will be able to identify what kind of projects are perfect, what kind of projects are using the technology in order to solve a problem. So when you solve a problem, you create value. And therefore, you will have a good investment. So there's also another type of like things that are happening right now, the hype. So there is a lot of projects out there that do not have any significant value. So if you're able to detect, okay, this project doesn't, it's very just popular for the moment, I'm not gonna put my money in here or like a risky amount of money for myself. So I could put a little bit there just in case, but it's under your own risk. I would prefer not to, but it's better if you identify the difference between something that has real value versus something that is just hype. And the same applies with NFTs, but right now we're just focusing on the cryptocurrencies. And so you do your research about the technology. Then on the other side, you go into what kind of problems they are solving. Okay, this project is solving something about the environment and blockchain. Makes it interesting because it's transitioning from, I don't know, proof of work to consensus mechanisms that allow you to just vote. And that could be perfect because instead of using a lot of energy, now you're just relying on holding staking, right? Proof of stake. That's wonderful. That's an example. Another example could be a project that is heavily investing on creating solutions to like create digital identities that are super safe. That has real value, right? So maybe I want to put something in this token or this project here. So in these kind of types, you have to understand also the differences. Sometimes they have like some things that are very, very common, but a blockchain that is in that project could be more like versatile. So it could operate with other blockchains, and the other one is like, let's say, it could be also cheaper in order to do transactions. An example here would be to do like a wallet with Ethereum, and on the other side, a wallet with Stellar. So if you are doing a project with Ethereum right now, as before launching Ethereum 2.0, the transaction fees are super high, especially when there's high demand on this kind of tokens, right? But on the other side, on Stellar, transactions and whatever you use on these wallets, based on this network, are super, super affordable. Like 0.0000092 US dollars in order to do a transaction. It's pretty convenient, it's super fast. Yeah, that's an example. So I'm going to invest in this one. It's an example. And also, you have to do research in what kind of companies that are using technologies like blockchain are doing. For example, you can look at, for example, the financial states of the company. In the case of Quadrigas the exchange, that there were actually a company that were on register under the Canadian government. You could like go there and look at the financial statements of a year, like if they are doing well or not, if they're like if they're like doing what they are supposed to do. If you see red flags like that, they're not like delivering what they are supposed to. That's something that, okay, something is going wrong here. I'm investing here, and they're not delivering what they were expecting we were expecting, right? So that's an example too. So you have to do your research, and also, also you need to find like trusted fonts of information, because there's also like YouTube videos and stuff. Some of them are very valuable, but on the other side, there's people that do not have any background, and they are just like there creating a lot of views and creating hype in order to sell a project that doesn't have any value. So you have to be very aware of these things that are also there. And on the other side, there is educators that can help you to with this as well. If you have any professors at your university and they are like very knowledgeable about the topic, why don't you like ask them a question about the technology behind? Compare like projects that are doing something, and you can actually have the help of an expertise in the case. Yeah, that's my advice.
For sure, though, I would not take advice from this guy. We'll go into why. So, but there is a documentary on Netflix, Trust No One: The Hunt for the Crypto King. So it talks about this exchange that was based here in Canada, I think particularly in Vancouver too. So it's a 90-minute film. I haven't watched it yet, but it looks really good, and I think it would be a good like thing that we'll just go through here. So, and next slide then. All right, so just to explain, so just looking more into this, just do some research on the exchange. So, based off Quadriga CX, their headquarters was this App Store right here. So, like, you can tell there's a problem if they're managing like I think it was $400 million that their headquarters was taking you to a street off Hastings. I think it was off Hastings, this App Store. So. Yeah, so if you see like just something like that, that's a big red flag. If it just directs you, this is their headquarters and all that, and just a little bit of the backstory of what happened. Like Quadriga CX, so the exchange was going well. Even I used it back in 2017 for like buying and selling crypto. But then in 2018, the guy in charge of it, I guess if we go back a slide, yeah, this guy he apparently went on a trip to India, and then he said he died. And then, he had the private keys to the whole company, all the coins that were on the exchange. He took everything with him. So then, all the people that invested, it was over 100,000 people, I think, or users. They couldn't get their money out, and it's just locked up because, if you lose your keys, you lose your coins. So you got to be really careful if you leave coins on an exchange and just knowing how they secure it because, he had control of all the keys. So, or on his laptop that they can't open. It's like completely encrypted and stuff. So so it's a big thing, and there was a lot of like court stuff that happened after, and they're trying to settle like how can they get the money back, but there's no real way of getting the money back. But like there's definitely watch the show though on Netflix. It'd be talk about the whole thing, I think. So it's pretty All right, now we'll do Vugar the live demonstration of Nick. If you guys want to come up here. We're just going to share the screens here. I don't know if it would actually... Oh, wait. All right, it should be good now to go. Be working?
You're using this one, right?
Yeah. Oh, if you use that one, you're good. Yeah.
But it should also show.
We'll do it like here. You guys can start if you guys want.
But it has to show this one.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we're good.
We good?
Okay. We're doing a stream on a stream, so.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Awesome. Well, hello everyone. My name is Vugar Ghafarli, and I am the VP of Relations for this tremendous club. And this is Nicholas Biamonte.
Hello everyone, I'm Nick, and I'm part of the executive team for the club.
So today we're going to have a live demonstration on how to open an account in NDAX. So before we get into that, I would like to explain you guys why we picked NDAX. So National Digital Asset Exchange, it is a cryptocurrency exchange platform that is integrated into the Canadian banking system, which means that it also keeps the retail and institutional investors in mind. So basically, it is incorporated in Alberta, and as well, it is registered as a money service business, meaning that it falls under several regulatory frameworks. That includes, like the users of it are actually subject to proceeds of crime, or like it's tracking like anything like terrorism financing related and all that. But on top of that, I would also like to share you guys a bit of a personal experience that I had with this exchange. So basically, when I first wanted to invest into the field of crypto, I had a lot of difficulties. I tried to use Binance, and basically what I tried to do is I tried to take my debit card and I wanted to buy cryptocurrency directly from my debit card. And once I tried to do that, basically my bank card got blocked. And for 2 weeks, none of my bank cards did work. I constantly kept calling the bank and they thought that I'm doing some sort of a fraudulent transaction or something. But then a day earlier that I discovered NDAX, I talked to Riley about this whole situation, and he basically told me, you know what, actually, you should maybe try NDAX. And I basically gave it a try. I learned that it's a Canadian-based company. It has 24/7 support, 0.2% fees, which is actually phenomenal. And the whole platform itself is so easy to use. It's very user-friendly. So we will right now go through the whole process of it. Okay. So as you guys can see, this is the whole page of theirs. So in our live demonstration, as mentioned before, we will create an account for Nicholas. Hopefully he's going to trade in there as well. So it's going to take a few steps. If you can go ahead, Megan, write down the information, please. There's just simple information needed, like first name, username, and as well the email address and all that.
A good password.
A good password, yeah, that's really important. You gotta ensure that the password has the capital letters, the special letters, the numbers, and all that.
And also double authentication for your account.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
You
important.
definitely need a two-factor authentication for the account as well.
So you want me to go through this too here?
You can just confirm that you're 18 years old and have read and agreed with the user agreement. Ensure whenever you guys sign up, you just read over it, okay?
So the initial sign up's pretty simple, right?
Yes.
Not too bad. Okay.
Very straightforward.
Any questions so far?
Is that your real email address, Nick?
Is it my real email address?
It is.
I have to blur that out, eh?
No, I'm hoping for some spam emails.
Was it going up on YouTube afterwards?
Yeah, it's on YouTube right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's live.
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know. I press sign up.
Just put your social security number.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, we'll have to stop it there. Yeah. Because basically this is like the simple information that is needed. Afterwards, what happens is you basically have to go through a certain know your customer related process where you actually have to submit your identity picture alongside a 360-degree picture of your face. And after that, it usually takes around 15 to 20 minutes to actually get your account approved. Again, as I said, the whole system itself is very user-friendly, and it has a lot of safety systems, 24/7 customer service as well. So basically, when it comes to the customer service, as you guys can see, there is like this pop-up that came out, which actually tells you that you can actually chat with someone. Usually it takes somewhere between 1 to 2 hours to get a response from them. They compared to many other exchanges, you can actually type in, like, if you have an inquiry from them, let's say you need to call them directly, you can just type, like, you need to call them, and they will basically provide you with a phone number, and you can give them a direct call, which is actually pretty good, and it's open 24/7 as well. So yeah, that is basically a whole demonstration of opening an account down here. Well, thank you very much. So I'll bring in Riley down here as well.
Oh, thank you, sir.
No worries.
Thanks for the live demonstration.
No worries, no worries.
I guess we can. You guys got the slides?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. I'll remove this and now. All right. So now we're back. We're back here to where to hodl now. So hodl is like a meme version of hold. It started on Twitter. I forget the story of how it actually started, but there was a reason where the hodl started. But yeah, it's just a meme. Victor, if you wanna come up and explain the scam point number 3. For if it's not your keys, not your coins, or yeah, if you want me to explain it, or
Sure. Like what he wants to say is like the difference between centralized and decentralized wallets. So the phrase if it is not your key, it's not your wallet, it means like on a blockchain who has the total control of whatever happens in your account or wallet, it's the one who has the private key. So if you have a wallet that gives you the private key only for you, and then it's your responsibility to keep that private key secure, right? But there are some cryptocurrency exchanges that are centralized. So the company or the developer that creates the wallet, he has all the private keys storage in a secure place. Right now, there have been some cases like the Quadrex CX example, where you have an interface with multiple wallets attached to one single person that has the power of seeing what's happening in there. That's in some ways it could be beneficial when it comes to regulations to see like there's no like illegal activity happening on the accounts. And some companies like Coinbase actually do that. They have access to these private keys. When it comes to the centralized version of the wallet, they have two. They have access to these wallets. They can see if like the person is actually a citizen, they're registered, and they can like monitor what is happening there. For security reasons, that's good. But at the same time, if you don't have the private key, then it's not your wallet. Means that in the event, for example, Coinbase being hacked or a fail in the securities of all these private keys fail, then your information, so your tokens in that wallet will be compromised at some degree. That your account could be drained. And if you have something like all your life savings in there, that would be a bad idea. Another example would be very important thing to do is diversification when it comes to wallets. Why? Because even if you have your private key, or if you are in a decentralized or centralized, if you have all the eggs in one basket, that's bad, because you lose the private key gets stolen on the company, the security hacks, there's a security hack or something, then everything you have there, it's gone. So it's better to diversify in multiple accounts or addresses or wallets. And here we have like some examples here.
yeah. So like if quite a bit of money. If we really add up all the hacks that happened here, it's probably a lot of math right now. But it's definitely over. It's definitely in the billions. Like these are not all the hacks that happened. They're just some of the main ones that have occurred. And this is since 2019. So the last 2 years there's been more as well too. So yeah, just be really careful. Like this is all money that people invested and people had coins in and exchanges, and there's been hacks that happened along the way. But I think one good thing is a lot of these exchanges now have insurance policies. Nowadays, if something happens, they have a reserve to back up the investor and to pay them back. But yeah, just be careful. And yeah, hacks do happen. even though like maybe they say it never happened before, it's possible it could. So just be careful and all that. So
Yeah.
Next slide there. All right, so different methods of hodling now. There's really two main different parts. There's third-party custodian. So that's basically like the exchanges, as we were just mentioning. Yeah, that's the third-party custodian. And then you got self-storage as well. So that's something that you could store for yourself. And there's 3 different versions of that. You got software, hardware, and then you got paper wallets too. And we'll go into detail of each of these here. All right, so third-party custodian. So yeah, so as I was saying, it's like cryptocurrency exchanges or a company that holds the coins. Basically, anything or any entity that holds the coins and you don't have control of it. That's basically the third-party custodian for holding your crypto. Stockbrokers like Wealthsimple is a good example. All the exchanges. A good tip would be like these are good for short-term holding. It wouldn't be a good idea for the long term. And some of these exchanges can also earn some interest. So by you holding your crypto in some of these exchanges or some of these saving accounts, you can get a yield back, which could be good for, like as Victor was saying, like for diversifying. You don't want to have a whole amount in that or a lot in that, but it's good for short term and just a little bit of your portfolio to be held just for diversification reasons too. So we're not saying third-party custodian's bad. It's just do your research, make sure you know which ones they're using. And self-storage now. So here's software wallet. So that's something that can be installed on your phone, laptop. You can open it up using internet or web browser. So it's more secure for sure than third-party custodian because you have control, or you have way more control than you would than the other option. And it's also cheap too. These ones are pretty cheap. It's not too, some of them a lot of them are free. It doesn't cost anything. Some examples would be the Coinbase wallet, as Victor was mentioning earlier. So you got the Coinbase exchange. You also got the app, the self-custodian wallet too as well, where you're in control of your own keys and coins. Also, what Victor was mentioning is Exodus. That's also a good one too for storing. And for that one too, you can actually like hook up your hardware wallet, which we'll get into in the next slide. And you can hook that up into your Exodus account, and you can use the benefits of both to really hold your crypto and stuff. So, and then you got Jaxx Liberty. That's a good wallet too. Anthony, one of our guest speaker from our last event, he's the creator of that. He was the CEO of creating Jaxx Liberty, being in control of your keys, being in control of your coins. So it's an awesome app and for holding your coins and stuff. So. But I would say one big thing for software wallets, that one of the dangers of it is just the fact that it's on your phone, it's internet enabled. So there is a slight chance like you could get hacked into it. Like you could, depending, but it's not fully secure because you're connected to the internet. I think that's the main takeaway. So, and then so self-storage, going into hardware wallets now. This is like the most secure because it's offline. No one could. If it's offline, no one online could ever hack or get into it. So one big thing, it's only worth getting if your holdings are roughly, I would say like 5,000 or more, and you have like a long-term strategy for holding like cryptocurrencies. Because that one big reason is because of the price. Like I think the cheapest ranges, I know for the Ledger, I think it's the Nano, right? Nano X or the S?
There are 2.
The S one's a cheaper one.
The cheaper one is the Nano X.
Oh, okay, yeah. So then I know the Nano S is just under $100 or roughly $100. That's probably the cheapest one you can get. But the Nano X is roughly, it's like almost 300, right?
200.
200. Okay. I know for Trezor, like if you get the Model T, it's like almost $300. So these are only worth doing if your portfolio is big enough because it only makes sense. You don't want to put too much of your portfolio into a wallet if you're not invested that much. So it only makes sense if you have a larger holding of crypto to have an offline wallet so it's more secure. So the big thing about these is, the offline, it's like a little hard drive. And you kind of plug it in and then, you can access your coins. And if you lose the hard drive, you just got to type in, you get like a 12-word feed, like a 12-word thing. It's like your private key. So that's basically the private key is like 12 words, or it can be 24. And then those are the words for your coins. and that's directly linked to the blockchain. So it's nothing to do with the wallet. So if you lose the wallet or if the wallet website goes down, if you still have that private key to those words, you still have your coins. So that's the big thing. So, and then that's what we're getting into in the next one here. So it's paper wallets. So like you just print out a piece of paper and there's all your coins right there. But basically it's it's most secure but very risky because if your piece of paper gets shredded or you lose it, I don't know, if you lose your private key, which is this long string in the bottom, whoever's private key that is, I'm hoping there's nothing in it because it's publicly shown. It was just off Google Images, but if that private key, if that gets shredded in any way, you just can't access it and it's just gone forever in a way. So if you can do a paper copy, I think, you gotta definitely like print it out securely and put it in a very secure spot. It has to be in like, I would say a vault or something if you're gonna do a paper, or I don't know, like you want to make sure it doesn't have any chance of burning up or something like that. So, all right, and hey, Victor, do you want to do the next scam point? This is our next scam point number 4 now here. What to do with your private keys?
What to do with your private keys? So it depends. One option here, that, as Riley was mentioning, is like to keep them safely offline. So for example, you can have them on a device that is not connected to internet, that you only know where is it, storage. And then you may have like the private key there. There's some people that they cut the private key onto like, let's say a piece of paper, or they store it in multiple devices. So even though the private key is like a decentralized private key. So I may have one private key, part of the private key. I can give one to Riley. I can give one to another person that I trust. And then another person can have another part of the private keys. And then I can have like the order for these words, and the people that I trust, I only know who they are, right? So I only know the arrangement of these words, and I can have the private key safely storage in these multiple people. That's an option, but there is also like other safe options as well. Like for example, you can just like put on a piece of paper and put it like on a vault or something and just keep it there. But that's an option as well. Another option could be like the drives that we were mentioning before, the offline keys. And there is also like new initiatives right now that are emerging, because it's a problem. What happens if you lose your private keys? So right now, there is like companies that are working to actually store your private keys, or create solutions in order to solve this problem. How you can have a wallet without losing your private key, or something like that. Another thing that it may work is like you can hash your private key. So that information that you have there, you can hash that with a hashing machine. Like you can hash it with even with your code, with your phone, and then the hash could be reversed. Like if you have the code to do that, and you can storage that. And that's what I would do. But I can show you how to hash that on your phone.
Oh, thank you, Victor. So the big thing is, make sure you don't put your keys anywhere online, because this guy here will somehow find it. So just be careful. So, any questions so far, or any comments? Anything you found from like any scams that really, when you heard cryptocurrency scam, what was the first thing that came to mind for you guys? Or
Well, I would like to tell something about it. So, specifically in the last year, a lot of high-ranked people's Twitter accounts were actually hacked as well.
yeah,
That includes the current president Joe Biden's Twitter account was hacked, and I think Elon Musk's account
Elon
was
Musk,
actually
yeah.
hacked. And I think like within 10 minutes, like $500,000 were actually collected from the people, and basically it was pretty interesting though.
Yeah, it's all the scams and things that happen. Like that's a good example of like
Also, adding to that one too is like there are hackers. They find ways how to create the websites. For example, if you have an account on Coinbase, they can duplicate the website of Coinbase, and you may think that is the interface, the real interface of Coinbase. And once you enter there, you put your password for Coinbase, and if you don't have a double authentication, that's how they can access to your account. That's why it's important to have double authentication in order to access to your accounts, because if they have the passwords and the usernames for these wallets that are centralized or decentralized, your information is gone, as well as your tokens. So always activate double authentication, and when you're gonna look into a website of one of these companies that have like a wallet, always verify on top of the URL that is the real URL of the wallet that you are using. If it's Coinbase, there's usually a verified green lock that appears usually with the interface that tells you that it's safe and it's the original one. And also, if you know the domain and coinbase.com and / whatever, that also can tell you that it's the real one too. One other thing. Also, there is also, do not post anything like related to this kind of like words on social media. And sometimes people take photos of the private keys. That's also risky because if they have access to your phone and they hacked whatever is happening in there, they will have access to these photos with your private keys. The good thing is like they will need to know of which wallet and which blockchain is the private key belonging, right? But if you have like Coinbase or something like that that is attaching the cryptocurrency with the username and everything, then it's gone. You're hacked. And yeah, never show on social media, never storage on your phone. What else? Just keep it for yourself, and you can storage in multiple ways, but if only you know the order of these, then that's fine.
And also, once you guys start actually trading crypto and all that, you guys will see more often the social media where someone actually sends you a text message saying,
Yeah.
"It's easier to send you back 5 Ethereum at the same time." Never fall for that. And they attach a link sometimes to wallet. What is really interesting is sometimes they actually don't attach a wallet address. Instead, they attach a link.
oh yeah.
And there were some people who actually clicked the link and somehow they actually got your wallet address from there. But it's like available on your computer, like
Right.
in some sort of way. So it's really important to be careful about all those things.
Or sometimes they send a message, like if you're using like, let's say Binance, like maybe a fake message will come to your phone saying, oh, your account needs some verification. Like it can be really tricky that way too. Or even an email. Sometimes an email would be sent from the exchange saying, oh, your account needs some, just needs a touch up. There's some new requirements. So you gotta be really careful. Like I almost fell for one of those. In that you just gotta be careful, like, yeah, because it looks legit. It looks exactly from the exchange, but it's not actually from the exchange. It's actually like some sort of scam. So like you gotta watch out for those.
And also, once you have your wallet, sometimes if you are like, let's say you join to an airdrop or something, and you're expecting tokens to be delivered, that's normal. But sometimes hackers are able to just send random tokens to random wallets in order to like send you like malware through them. That's very rare, but it's possible sometimes. And so they send like random like tokens to your wallets, and they can like identify in a long term who the person is, because they start like not only like sending all these tokens, but they start to matching all the transactions that you do on the blockchain, and then they can like detect or have like accurate idea of who you may be, and then they can target you on social media or send you a spam email or something, and then eventually get into these like private keys. So they get first your wallet, and then eventually they try to find more information on who you are in order to target you and get your private keys. So be aware of tokens that mysteriously arrive into your wallets, and if you don't know that you were requesting for these tokens or you don't know the address, do not accept the tokens. So just keep it there.
So
Yeah.
they use those tokens to trace your every movement on.
Yes, so the hackers send like multiple ones. So I can say like I'm a hacker, right? But I want to know all of you have right now wallets, right? Plus all the people around the university have wallets. But I want to know who are you, right? So I may start spamming and sending a lot of tokens to you, but eventually I'll see how these tokens are interacting. Where my token that I send it to you went to the other one and the other one. And not only send these kind of tokens, I can send another token and then see how the tokens interact each other. And then I can start tracing with a mathematical model, like they do it with computers. And they can like identify where the wallet, whose wallet is. Because if they have the identity of one wallet already, they can link that wallet with another one. And then if they go, they have the identity of one, they may see like, okay, maybe this person is related to this one, and they start going into social media and stuff, so they know what. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy because the blockchain, you can see where everything,
Yeah.
all the transactions go, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
So they use that.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about the NFT projects, so like one of my friend gave his wallet address to one of the NFT projects to get whitelisted,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and they hacked his wallet. Like I don't know how they did it, but like they just did it with the address.
Oh, wow.
Yes, because they once they have the name of the person, I guess he needed like to open something on these groups, like some of these NFT projects they have like what's the one that you use for this app that we use for the club? It's not Telegram, the other one.
Oh, Slack?
Slack. The other one similar to Slack.
Telegram?
No.
Discord?
Discord.
Discord.
So some
Oh,
people join
okay.
Discord
Discord.
channels and stuff like that. And if you send all this information is attached to that, they already know who you are. They already know that, so they can like send you this kind of like email. Oh, your Coinbase blah 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 has been
Yeah.
compromised. So put your wallet. So that's how they do it. So first they know the address who belongs, and then they target the person, and then they send you the email, a text message, or whatever. Also, your phone number and everything, keep it private. If you're gonna be using one, if it's better, like to have it like one just for that would be better, because otherwise it's not linked to if you have like I don't know, if you're a real estate agent or you want to do like you give it to someone like that. This kind of private public numbers wouldn't be great for double authentication, because they can see who you are and everything.
And in Twitter added a feature where you can actually put your address on your profile. Like if you want to receive crypto from anyone, I don't know.
Yeah.
You want to donate stuff to tip you anything, you can put your address on your profile. I don't know how safe that is. Since after you talk about how people can just send you tokens and trace you, I don't know how safe putting your addresses on your Twitter account, because you have your name there, your number. I don't know if it's safe or not, but Twitter has that feature where you can put your Ethereum address into your personal address to be safe.
To be honest, I read about that function on Twitter, and I think Instagram also will do something similar. I do not know what kind of like security measures they have like done in order to allow that. But if you have all this personal information about you on top of an address, for me that would be very risky, because you are combining these two stuff. But if they have able to manage a way to keep it secure, I would like to read more about it and see like if I'm actually able to use it. If I would be dealing to use it, but so far I would not use it.
because it's the public key, so like they'll just be able to see like where your address is and what's in it and where those coins go, right?
Yeah.
And they can tie that to your name, right? So that's
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a little bit risky for me.
Yeah.
For so far, but I've seen the type of scams that are here right now. I would not use it until I know, like, okay, maybe they have developed a new technology that allows you to keep it safe. Okay, maybe I would see how the technology works, and then maybe give it a chance, but not like it's something with a lot of risk. Yeah, a lot of my assets there. Yeah.
Okay. That's good though. It's yeah. Any other points? Anything? Any questions or scam stories you guys heard about
I would
or?
also like to add on top of the scam stories, specifically if you guys ever get into the space of NFTs, you guys have to be extra cautious about it because like usually what happens is in the space of NFT, like people usually use like wallets like MetaMask and all of that, which is pretty safe, but what people do is they engage in transactions through Discord. So they basically find random people, they basically communicate with them through Discord, they don't even know who the person in front of them is. They send the NFT and boom, it's gone. Like he never receives the Ethereum back for it.
Yeah.
And I know a couple of people who actually lost a lot of money. Like I had a friend of mine who actually lost more than $200,000 that way.
Oh well.
Yes. So it's definitely important to ensure like you know what you're doing, specifically in NFTs.
Exactly. Yeah. Like NFT. It's you gotta be really careful on. That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, and if it's very like if you think that it's risky and it may be bad for you, it's bad for you. So also ask like people that have done it for a long time. Maybe they can teach you. Okay, maybe this is like not good. Maybe try, but just be careful. Do not put all your assets in that wallet. So that's why it's important to diversify. So have a little bit in multiple wallets, so you don't lose everything. So always be cautious. You can try, but be cautious. If there's a red flag, of course, there's a red flag.
So the big lesson is, if it smells fishy, then it is fishy.
Yeah. If it smells fishy, it probably.
Yeah.
If it looks like a fish, smells like a fish, it probably is a fish. So. Well, we're running low on time here, but we'll do a speed run through all the rest here. Victor made a good point for diversifying. Don't want to have it all in one wallet. Just kind of, I think a 90-10 rule is good. Like have 90% in the hot wallet, 90% in the cold wallet. So most of it offline. That's most secure, and then have maybe 10% in like an exchange wallet or hot wallet, software wallet. It's just good to diversify, and I think a good analogy is like having cash in your wallet and having cash in your bank. Have a little bit in your wallet, not all of your money in your wallet, because if someone steals that, it's all gone, right? But if you just lose your wallet and that cash in there, and you're okay because you got money in the bank, then that's fine. So just 90%, 10% is probably a good thing for that. So. And then, scam number 5, know and believe what you're investing. We do have a checklist if you guys want to see. I found one right here if you guys are interested. Like before getting into a project, it's like different things to look into. So you got like the fundamentals, the technicals, like what's the project, what's their vision, what's the real value behind the blockchain. That's some like fundamental stuff. And then technicals is like how many coins are there in circulation? How many coins are being, like, what's the inflation rate of these coins? How many of them are being issued? Who are holding the coins? Stuff like that. So like I think it's a good checklist. I kind of went through it. And some good points before you invest in the project to go through the checklist and make sure it's, not a scam so it's a good scam. Point number 5. Yeah. Oh, next slide here. And then where to sell. It's the same place where you buy. So you got the exchanges, you got ATMs. You can go to Bureaucraft right after this, and you can get some cash out of there, buy a beer, or you can do peer-to-peer. I can go to Vugar. I want to sell to you.
0.5 ETH, I'll transfer 50.
Next slide though. So you can also withdraw. You don't have to withdraw back the cash. You can also hodl like into stable coins. So instead of doing back to dollars, you can do stable coins, which are dollars, but it's still on the blockchain. So it's like a blockchain version, crypto version cryptocurrency that's pegged to the dollar. So it's 1 for 1. So yeah, USDT, USDC, those are all really good stable coins right now, and that's pegged to the US dollar. So US dollar is the main stable coin right now. But the advantage of that is that you keep your money in the crypto space. You can earn interest, and then it's just easy if you want to just go from those stable coins back to crypto, or if you want to store those stable coins on your offline wallet. So you technically, in a way, you can store just dollars that's in a cryptocurrency in your own hands. So
And also Canada is creating that stable.
I think so. Yeah.
I think it should be like a couple years away. I think that was mentioned.
The central bank digital currency.
Yes.
Oh, that's a little different. Yes, that's because these ones are decentralized. They run on open source blockchain technology. Central bank digital currency is something that's closed. It's a closed network, and it's run by the government central bank. But there's pros and cons to both. Like that could be a different. We could do a different thing on that. So the next slide though. So yeah, always do your own research. Create your own investment strategy from all the things that we talked about. Buying, where to hodl, where to sell. Use some critical thinking. You know, if it looks like a fish, if it smells like a fish, if it tastes like a fish,
It's a fish.
if you see it and it looks like a fish, I think I said that already. It probably is a fish. So, so just be patient. You know, don't jump into something right away. Always analyze the alternatives. Like take a step back sometimes. Look at the alternatives. That's probably just some good advice and everything that we kind of went through. So, next slide. And that's everything. So that's our presentation. Thank you. Any questions or?
Is Wealth Simple a good place to buy crypto?
Say it again.
Is Wealth Simple a good place to buy crypto?
I would say it's good, but like I've heard like I don't know if you can withdraw your crypto on there yet
I would say-
because it's
Well, I would say it's a bit of a questionable topic because I mean, generally speaking, Wealth Simple is pretty safe. But the problem is like you don't get like a wallet address, meaning that
Yeah.
you can't